Hi guys, this is 3-4. We are going to talk about exponents this evening. You do need to write this at the top of a clean sheet of paper in your spiral, and we are going to write down our definitions first. So the first definition that I would like you to write down with me would be the word base, and base is our word. That is the number that is to be multiplied. You will see more what I'm talking about on the next slide when I show you an example. And then the second word is exponent. And an exponent is the number that tells how many times that the base is used as a factor. Make sure you pause the video and get that all. So make sure you have all of that written down in your spiral before you move on. So what I'm going to show you today is basically how this is the same as this. All right, you have one more thing that you need to write down. So I'm going to show you 3 different types of forms. So we have exponential notation. So that is a number, a regular number that has an exponent. And remember, the exponent is the little number up top. Then we have expanded form. Well, if I have a number and it has an exponent, such as 5 to the 3rd power, or the power of 3, also known as 5 cubed, so go ahead and write that down. 5 to the 3rd power is the same as saying 5 cubed. If I expand it, I say that I'm using this 5 and I'm timesing it together, the base number, I'm timesing it together 3 times. So I'm not going to say 5 times 3. That would be incorrect. I'm using the base number and writing it 3 different times. So that would be expanded form. And then standard form would be just what is the answer. So 5 times 5 would be 25. Drop down the rest. 25 times 5 would give me 125. So that's how we're going to be working and what we're going to be working with. The last thing I do want you to write down is, if I would give you a number such as 10 with a 2 up top, that can be 10 to the 2nd power, but it is called squared, S-Q-U-A-R-E-D. If there is a little 2 as the exponent, it's squared. If it's 10 to the 3rd power, it is called cubed. And how I remember that is a square is 2-dimensional, and then a cube is usually 3-dimensional, right? So you do not need to write this one down. I'm just showing you what I want you to know. So 10 to the 5th power, it doesn't have any fancy name like square or cubed, but 10 to the 5th power is not the same as 10 times 5. It does not work that way. So please get that out of your head. It wants the base number, the big number, and it wants you to write it out how many times the exponent has it written out. So it wants 10 written out 5 different times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it wants you to times them all together. Well, some of you are like, well, how in the heck do I solve that? What I do to make life easier is I do 2 at a time. So I know 10 times 10 is 100. This 10 times 10 is 100. I got to bring him down because he doesn't have a partner. And then I have to bring down what I didn't use, which is the times signs. So that's my new problem. All right. Now I can do 100 times 10, which gives me my 1,000. Bring down what I didn't use, my 100 times 1,000. That's what I'm down to. And then 1 times 1 is 1. How many zeros do I have behind it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would have 100,000 would be my answer. So that is way different than saying 10 times 5 equals 50. Totally 2 different numbers. So when you use exponential form or exponents, this is what we're doing. We're breaking it down just like this. Easy peasy. All right, so remember this page. Make sure you have that written down because I'm going to ask you to show me different numbers with exponents in different forms next. So if I would ask you to write something in exponential notation and your problem said this, so go ahead and write this down in your spiral so you remember. The correct answer would be to write it with an exponent form. That's what notation is. So I would say that my base number is 9 because that's what I'm using over and over again. And then to get my exponent, I would say, well, how many times am I using it? I'm using it 3 different times. So this would be the correct answer. So I'm going to let you try one on your own. I would like you to write these numbers in exponential notation for a quiz question. All right, go ahead and write that in exponential notation. And the answer you should have gotten is 81 squared, or 81 to the power of 2. So now we're going to kind of do it backwards from what we just did. So we just did changing it into exponential notation, but if I give you, let's say, I just give you the word 35 squared. How would you write that in expanded form? Show me in a quiz question. Make sure you go back and look at your notes if you have a question. So 35 squared, I know squared means 2, so 35 to the second power, that's what it would look like in exponential notation, but in expanded form, the long form, it would look like 35 times 35, 2 35s. This would be the correct answer. All right, now let's try one more. Please write 11 to the 6th power in expanded form. So what you should have gotten for this answer is we write 11, the base number, 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we times them all together. We expanded it out. Awesome. All right, so I'll do this one with you, and then you're on your own. If they would like you to write this number, but in standard form, that means they just want what it equals. So this is exponential notation form. In order to solve it, you have to write it all out. So the base number, 5, and we have to write it out 4 times. And to get standard form means we have to solve it. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25. Drop down what I didn't use. 25 times 25 is 625. So in standard form, that would be my answer. 5 to the 4th power equals 625. So I would like you to try 2 on your own, and then you are good to go for this evening. All right, I would like you to write in standard form 10 to the 3rd power, or 10 cubed. All right, so to solve this, you should have written out 10 3 times. 10 times 10 equals 100 times 10. Drop that down, and you should have gotten 1,000. All right, one more. All right, write this in standard form, which just means normal, regular form, 12 squared. So to solve this, you know, squared is the same as 12 to the 2nd power. 12 squared. So we write it out twice, 12 times 12. Well, we know that 12 times 12 is 144. So that would be our answer. All right, if you are iffy about this, that's okay. We will work a lot with it tomorrow. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you later. Bye.